Hi there. This afternoon and this week, we're going to be exploring feathers a little bit. So, feathers of birds are really pretty cool. I've got some that I've collected. So, I've got this one that I found while I was on a walk, and I've got this one that I found in my backyard. I found this one in my backyard also. It's got sort of got stripes on it. I know the sunlight is making it look like it has stripes, but it actually does have whitish and black coloring stripes on it. I also found this one, which is kind of mangled a little bit, but I'm going to read to you a little bit about feathers. I actually even made a feather. I cut it out into this shape. You could try this. I cut this part, which we're going to learn the name of that. It's actually called the vane. And then these are called the barbs, how it's sort of feathery with feathery. That's funny, but I used a scissor to cut all these little bits apart to show how the feather has sort of like little strings that come out. Those are called the barbs, and they're connected to the vane that's in the middle. And so I pointed my scissors down that way while I made that. And if you'll notice, they're longer on this side than they are on this side because I made a certain type of feather. So I'm not going to tell you what that type of feather is yet, but it was similar to this one. Short barbs on one side and longer barbs on the other because I made a certain type. And you'll learn about that, but not just yet. So I'm going to read a little bit of this book. Feathers, not just for flying. Then I'm going to do another video that shows you some types of feathers and what's different about them. All right, feathers, not just for flying. Birds and feathers go together like trees and leaves, like stars and the sky. All birds have feathers, but no other animals do. It doesn't look like a penguin has feathers because it looks so smooth that it almost looks like skin or wet fur, but they're feathers. All birds have feathers. Most birds have thousands of feathers, but those feathers aren't all the same. That's because feathers have so many different jobs to do. This is a red-tailed hawk feather. This is a Steller's jay feather. I'm trying to see if you have any of the others. This is a wood duck. This is a dark-eyed junco feather. That's a peacock feather. Feathers can warm like a blanket. On cold, damp days, a blue jay stays warm by fluffing up its feathers and trapping a layer of warm air next to its skin. See how it fluffs up? They fluff up. The air gets next to their body in between the fluffs of their feathers, and it gets warm. So it's sort of like they make their own little blanket on them. Or they can cushion like a pillow. A female wood duck lines her nest with feathers she plucks from her own body. She pulls them out. Those feathers cushion the duck's eggs and keep them warm. She plucks them out of her own body. She plucks these fluffy feathers on her. Feathers can shade out sun like an umbrella. As a hungry tricolored heron wades through the water in search of food, it raises its wings high over its head. The feathers block out reflections from the sky and shade the water. This makes it easier to spot tasty fish and frogs. So next time you're near the water, either the lake or a pond or the shallow edge of a river, I want you to look into the water and see if you can see what's underneath, and then shade with your hand and see if it's easier to see down into the water when there's a shade over the top. That is what that heron is doing. Or feathers can protect skin like sunscreen. On sunny summer afternoons, red-tailed hawks spend hours soaring through the sky in search of prey. Their thick feathers protect their delicate skin from the sun's harmful rays. This is a big, long red-tailed hawk feather. Feathers can soak up water like a sponge. or clean up messes like a scrub brush. On sizzling summer days, a male sand grouse cools off by soaking his belly feathers in a watering hole. Then the proud papa flies to his nest while dad guards his chicks. The little ones suck on his feathers to quench their thirst. They're sucking on his feathers to drink up water. An American bittern always cleans up after it eats. Its feathers have brittle tips that crumble into a dusty powder. The powder is perfect for scouring away dirt and slimy fish oil that sticks to its feathers. They turn into a scrub brush. Feathers can distract attackers like a bullfighter's cape. Look at that. There's a cat ready to attack. A dark-eyed junco distracts its enemies by flashing the bright white feathers on the outside of its tail. Then it quickly covers the feathers and darts off in the other direction. Or hide a bird from predators like camouflage clothing. A female cardinal's dull grayish-tan body and feathers blend in with her forest home. They help her hide and protect her nest from enemies while she sits on her eggs. Feathers can make high-pitched sounds like a whistle. Wow,
You're on mute.
They can make sounds with their feathers. When a male club-winged mannequin wants to get a female's attention, he leans forward, raises his wings over his back, and rapidly shakes them. A feather with ridges.
It's Brenda.
Oh, hold on, honey.
You're on mute.
Oh, somebody's here while I'm reading the book. They're in the Google Hangout. That's okay. We're going to read one more page, and then we're almost at the stop anyway. Or they can attract attention like fancy jewelry. Look at that. They're getting attention from their big, tall feathers. Feathers can dig holes like a backhoe or carry building supplies like a forklift. They're digging a hole. Here she's carrying nesting materials. Feathers can help birds float like a life jacket. They actually fluff up and put pockets of air in between their feathers so they can float. Or plunge downward like a fishing sinker. Feathers can glide like a sled or sprint across the snow like snowshoes. They've got feathers all the way down to their feet.
You're on mute.
For extra surface areas so they don't sink down into the snow. But most of all, feathers can give birds the lift they need to race across the sky. Just going to show you this page, types of feathers. In a second video, I'm going to share the types of feathers with you, and we're going to do a little noticing and wondering. All right, time to watch video number 2, all about types of feathers.